Right, so now we're gonna move on to hormones. So we spoke about pesticides, so let's talk about hormones. Where do you find hormones? Yes, your meat. So a chicken is really no more a chicken. It used to take 6 months for a chicken to be fully grown. Now it takes what? 3 weeks. Why? Because it's all about supplying the market. It grows quicker, so we can make it cheaper. Now look at how kids 9 years old are reaching puberty. Yes, because you are what you eat. Women reaching menopause earlier in life. Males struggling with infertility. Because of the chicken, it's no more a chicken. Now when you walk into a supermarket, do this for me. One chicken is $4. Another one is $14. Which one do you go for? Something to think about, yeah? The cheaper one. Why? Because you walk in the supermarket trying to save money, but you should be walking in there trying to make the best choices and get the best food, not save money. Now the same people who will tell you that they can't afford $14 chicken, the organic one, are the same people who wear diamond watches, diamond rings, nice watches. We take vacations. We drive a Mercedes every day through McDonald's, but we can't afford an organic chicken. You know, to be honest, it's our values, it's our mindset. Now normally humans, we spend the first 40 years chasing money, not caring about health. And then we spend the last 40 years doing what? Using money, chasing health. You know, but can we buy health? If Michael Jackson couldn't buy health, if Steve Jobs couldn't buy health, how can we buy health? You can't buy health. You need to start now investing into your health. Don't wait until it's too late before deciding to change. We say we can't afford it, but we can afford other things. But we can't afford eating healthy. It's our values. You know, let's start putting health first. Let's move on. Let's move on to medication. Now, is medication designed to heal or to deal with the symptoms? Yes, it's to deal with the symptoms. Most medications, are they synthetic or natural? Synthetic. They just bandage the symptom and they're highly acidic. You know, the point of the seminar is to hope that you listen and apply the knowledge so then you can start changing your life and making your doctor put you on less medication or take you off your medication. So the seminar is not saying don't take your medication. It says that change your lifestyle and then your doctor can take you off your medication when you don't need it, when you are healthy. Right? That makes sense? All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to soda. Who here drinks soda? I see a few hands. All right, what's wrong with soda? Yes, sir. Too much sugar. Yes, ma'am. Chemicals. So, which one do you prefer, diet or regular? Regular. Why regular? Okay, you just like the taste. So regular has a chemical known as phosphoric acid. If I pour soda into my toilet, what happens? It cleans it. If I pour soda into my car's battery, what happens? It cleans the terminals. So imagine the damage that it's doing on the inside if it can eat up erosion. So you prefer diet. Why? Less sugar. Yes, less sugar, but now you can find aspartame in your diet soda, which is 10 times more sugary than normal sugar. Imagine that, right? And also, aspartame is a neurotoxin, which means what? Which means that it destroys the nerves. Brain has a nerve. What disease? Yes, Alzheimer's. Eye has a nerve, optic nerve. People struggling with vision. Heart has a nerve, heart contraction, which is why every year more than 500,000 Americans hold their chest, fall down, never get up again. What disease? Heart disease. There's a nerve. It's the leading cause of death in the Western world. It's heart disease. Something to think about, right? And it is lifestyle. It's all about lifestyle. So stress. Why stress? Married people. Yes, so stress triggers cortisol. So we call this one silent inflammation. So this is the kind of toxin for 40 years, nothing will be wrong with you. And then all of a sudden, everything is wrong. So it breaks you down slowly, but surely, right? So now we covered some of the things that make us acidic, right? And everyone today will have a chance to come book with us for a nutrition consultation. So we will cover, again, what you're doing wrong and change your dieting to any goal that you might have. So you can know what's acidic, you can know what's alkaline. So everyone is lucky enough today to have that chance. Now, let's move on to our diagrams. So move on to our diagrams. So the first diagram I want to start off with is, so the first diagram is with the colon. Because now, the colon, it's where disease starts, in your colon, right? So firstly, let's just look at the intestines. Your intestines are 22 feet wide. That's the small ones in the colon. And they can expand 3 times. So they look something like this. All right, so in your intestines, you got small hairs. What do we call these hairs? Yes, cilia or villi. So they create a movement known as peristalsis. Alright? So now, if I eat something that's highly acidic, these hairs will close, they stick together. Right? So they stick together, which means that the food can't be absorbed and it starts to build up here, causing a sticky surface which is called a mucus, which is why your intestines will just expand. They can expand 3 times. So the arms can be fine, legs can be fine. This here could be the problem. Imagine that. Some of us, when we stand, you can't see your toes anymore. Alright? Alright. Okay, so mucus that starts to build up here, which is why after a meal, you normally feel tired, you feel bloated, you feel gassed up, because this is exactly what's happening. Right? If you're having 4 meals a day, and you don't even go to the toilet once to eliminate, that's not normal. It's a problem. It means that whatever you eat is being stuck here. You can't eliminate it. If you're going once, that's still not normal. At least 3 times a day. That should be normal. 3 times a day. Alright? So now, what's happening is, we also have blood that will pass through your intestines. Now, why would blood pass through here? Yes, to absorb nutrients and transport it. Now in your blood, you got small platelets. So these platelets on the inside carry a positive charge. On the outside, they carry a negative charge. So what happens if I connect 2 negative ends? Yes, they repel, which means we have good flow of oxygen. So now we want to absorb nutrients, but instead, what do we find? We find acid. Alright? Now, if I pour acid on my skin, what happens? It burns. What happens is the acid here burns the arterial walls. We call this arterial sclerosis, where the acid burns the arterial walls. Which means now we can absorb acid into our bloodstream. Once the acid is in our bloodstream, it will start to strip away some of the negative charge from the platelets. What do you now have? You now have negative and positive. They now start to bind together. What do we call this? Yes, blood clots. So you now have blood clots, which means that you're causing a blockage and your heart must now do what? Your heart must now pump harder. So what happens to your blood pressure? It goes up. You go to your doctor, they put you on medication like lisinopril. And this is the problem, this is the cause, but we still haven't dealt with the cause. We just take medication. which is why you will take it for how long? Forever, unless you change your lifestyle. Now also, if I cut my skin, it bleeds, and then later it must heal. Now, there's an organ called the liver. Now this organ can produce something known as LDL, which is low density lipoprotein, which is the cholesterol. So now the LDL is to patch up here, to patch up the damage caused by acid. Alright? Now if you go to your doctor and they detect these high amounts of LDL, cholesterol, what happens? More medication. Crestor, Lipitor, Zonko, which can cause muscle pain, joint pain, so you must take more for your muscle pain, joint pain. Alright, that's cholesterol. Now, what happens is, do you realize what's happening here? We are slowly causing a blockage. Slowly causing a blockage. Now, our intestines are already acidified and have mucus, which is why we said 1 in 3 people in America get what disease? Colon cancer, which means 2 people survive it. But 1 in 2 people in America get what disease? Yes, ma'am, heart disease. 1 in 2, heart disease. Because now, once there's a complete blockage here, you get a heart attack. Once the LDL breaks off at the end, what happens? It will send a sign to your brain to cause a stroke. So strokes and heart attacks kills more people in the US more than cancer does. So it's not a problem or something that we can afford to take lightly, because it's so sad when you meet people who've lost their husbands through this, lost their children through this, lost their wives through this. But if only they had spoken and worked on prevention, they'd be here today. Now, why do you wait till bad things happen to us before deciding to change? Because we don't believe that it can happen to us until it finally does. And it's amazing to see how much people, the amount of people that survive strokes and heart attacks, the change in mentality is amazing. They will now do anything to make sure it never happens again. This all started in your intestines. Acid buildup, you all what you eat. It all started here. So if you can keep this area clean, you can avoid a lot of diseases just by keeping this area clean. Which is why we start by cleaning your intestines for 21 days first. So we can break down all the mucus, prepare for absorption of the good nutrients that you will now eat, because you will now change your dieting. Alright? Now my second diagram, and I'm going to close. Everyone here has what we call our fat cells. I'm skinny, but I have fat cells. Alright? Fat cells. Which organ breaks down fat? The liver. Which organ also has to filter you? The liver. The liver has to keep you pure in 4 channels. Number 1 is perspiration. Number 2 is urination. But perspiration means sweating. But do we sweat enough? No. You get up in the morning, you take a shower, and you apply chemicals to block you from sweating. Which is why women have breast cancer. We now have lymph cancer, because you got lymph nodes here that drain out dirt, but we want to block it. Imagine that. Urination. Do we drink enough water? We get told 8 glasses. Everyone, but we are not the same. It differs for everyone. Number 3, respiration, breathing. Number 3, excretion. Do we eliminate enough? Now, if you're not doing these 4 things, it means that your liver is slowing down. Your liver, every 6 months, should be new. It rejuvenates every 6 months. But now, do you feel new every 6 months? No? Then maybe the liver is slowing down, and we need to keep the liver clean. Because now the liver has to choose between burning fat or filtering. Which one is more important? It's filtering. So some of us maybe have lost the ability to burn down fats maybe 9 years ago, because now we have to filter. That is why we can't lose weight. That makes sense? Okay, so the liver breaks down fats into sugar, and your muscles will use the sugar. Right? So now, if I'm having my meals, carbs break down into sugar. Protein break down into amino acids, which is good for muscle building. And fats break down into fatty acids, good for your nerves. Now, where do we store sugar? We store sugar inside our fat cells. But we need a transporter for sugar, which is insulin. And where do we get insulin? From the pancreas. So insulin takes the sugar and transports it into our fat cells, so the liver can break down the fat into sugar, can break down sugar, which is energy, right? So that's your metabolism. So now, if your liver has a lot of toxins to deal with, it'll cut down burning fat, which means that our energy levels start to go down. You get up in the morning, you're already tired, because your liver has stopped breaking down fat as energy. So now what your liver does is, it takes all these toxins and says, let me find a place for them. Not your organs. The organs are active, but your fat cells are dormant, they're inactive. So the liver will store all the toxins around the fat cells. Now if I sprain my ankle now badly, what happens? It swells. My body will send water to prevent further damage. That makes sense? Same thing happens here. Your fat cells release water so they can isolate the fat cells with acid, which means now that fat cell is useless. It has acid plus water. This is what we call cellulite. Right? So it's cellular inflammation. If it ends with "ite" or "itis", it means inflammation. Right? Now you can do 1,000 squats, but you can't get rid of cellulite. You need to get rid of the acid, because it's caused by acid. Now what's happened here, if most of your fat cells have inflammation in water, you will not store sugar anymore into your fat cells. But if you eat a lot of carbs, they break into sugar, they trigger insulin. But now, guess what? The insulin you can't use anymore, which means you become insulin. Yes, resistance. What disease? Diabetes. You go to your doctor, they put you on medication, metformin. But still, your fat cells can't use the insulin. Now, if your pancreas keeps on producing insulin that you can't use, the pancreas can get fatigued, and your alpha and beta cells can get fatigued and stop producing insulin, which is another type of diabetes. Then they give you insulin for that one. So it's type 2 and type 1. Now, unless we change the lifestyle, we will keep on taking the medication. Now, as I close, do you agree that at this stage your health is compromised? What should we do? We gotta change. Let me show you how. Let me show you how. 3 things that you need to start doing for me. Invest time, energy, and money into your health. And also, we need to exercise. The biggest excuse for this one is that I don't have time. I don't have time. Yet we come on vacation, what do we say? I'm on vacation. So we procrastinate, which means that today we need to lose 15 pounds, but next year, guess what? It's 30 pounds. The following year, it's 50 pounds. So start today. The second one, so exercise, you invest time. Second one is nutrition. You have to change your nutrition. You are what you eat. It's also important. So exercise will be 10%. Nutrition, you also invest time and money. That's 30%. Alright, so this is 20% actually. and 30%. The last one is detox. And you invest time and money into detox. Exercise is time and energy. Detox right now is 50%. So depending on whether you need 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, after you do this 9 months, 6 months, or 3 months, you will now do it 4 years later. And your nutrition will change to 80%. So you focus more on this and less on this. That makes sense? Right, but now, how do we detox? Okay, so on Earth, the trees provide what to us? Oxygen. Alright? But now, I'll come back to that one later. Humans are 70% made out of water. And the Earth is the same. Now what keeps sea life going on? Correct, algae and seaweeds, which is what we use here on board to detox, right? Algae and seaweed is 97% alkaline, by far the most effective way to detox in this earth, through algae and seaweeds. So number one, we clean your colon for 21 days. We prepare. Number two, we now use your cleaning algae for 30 days. Number three, we now use your healing algae for 30 days. Number four, we now vitalize for 30 days. Now a lot of us here take multivitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D, glucosamine, selenium, fish oil, MSM. But straight after, our urine turns yellow because we vitalize without cleaning. So vitalizing is the last thing. And on average, we spend $50 on multivitamins, which means every year we spend $600 just by multivitamins. You can spend the exact same money on a 6 month detox that you only do once every 4 to 5 years. So it's time to reinvest. It's nothing new. You have been investing in your multivitamins, but now just reinvest in a detox program. Now as I close, guys, I'm going to be open for any questions. And for those of you who want to make a change today, for your children, but most of all, for your family and for yourself, what we will do today is we will do our BCA, body composition analysis, right? So we're not drawing blood, we do something much more effective. We use EKGs, so you just lie down on your bed, we apply 2 patches on your right hand, 2 on your right foot, it runs a mild impulse that will come back with your blueprints. Number 1, water retention, inflammation levels, lean muscle mass. Are you losing muscle? So we can work on your nutrition, your fat percentage, weight to lose. We'll see where you are and where you should be, and we will drive you to your goal. Just take 1 step for yourself, and we will take 9 steps for you. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Healthy man, 1,000 wishes. But a sick dying man only has 1 wish. Just want to be healthy. Do it for yourself. Don't work 40 years for a company just to be sick at the end. Take time for yourself. Don't be away working and come back home to be sick. You can be healthy. You deserve to be healthy. Now, just give yourself a round of applause for a nice seminar, and thank you for investing 1 hour of your time to my seminar. And I'll be right here in the front, guys. Anyone who wants to book, I'm right here at the front. You can make a line for me. Any questions, I'm willing to answer. Thank you very much. I wish you long life and good health. Thank you very much.